Welcome to the Encephalitis Podcast. My name is Prav, and I'm from Encephalitis International. Today, we'll be talking about legacies and leaving a gift in a will. To find out more, I'm really thrilled to be joined by Wunmi Odusina. Wunmi, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Oh, thanks, Prav. I'm doing quite well. Thanks for asking.
We met in World Encephalitis Day back in King's Cross a few years back, so it's great to see you since then. Um, thank you for joining us. Let's start off with your story with encephalitis. Could you share that with us, please?
Right. Um, it started in October 2017, and before that time, I'd never heard of encephalitis before. I didn't really know that anything like that existed. I was away from the country to Israel. I had a headache, but it was just a slight nagging headache affecting just one side of my head. So I took paracetamol 2 days in a row. Then I thought, you know what, I'm not going to bother again. We'll go. Went out on a Wednesday, which was a few days after we arrived. Came back, I was tired. So I decided to have a little nap. And that was how it all started. Someone woke me up, which was a good thing. Otherwise, I would have had a seizure in my sleep. And I sat down with the others in the living room talking about experiences during the day, and then I had what seemed like a stroke. One of the people in the group was a doctor, so she checked me out. My BP was slightly high, but it was within the high normal range, so nobody could explain what happened. And we just left it as the ace, thinking that would be it. 2 days later, I woke up very early in the morning. I think it was the seizure. I felt like something was coming on. That was what woke me up. And I had exactly the same seizure I had on the Wednesday. So on Sunday, I had to be taken to the hospital. They ran through so many tests for me, and everything was negative. I had a CAT scan, I think I had MRI, I had lumbar puncture, I had some blood tests because they were trying to check all sorts of things from Japanese encephalitis to everything came back negative. So the doctor was seeing me was rather confused. There was another doctor sitting next to him. She was dealing with somebody else. Thankfully, she had come into contact with encephalitis before. So she took one of the scans to have a look at. And she apparently told him that she thinks it might be encephalitis and I should be admitted. So they admitted me. The following morning, I went to have a shower. And as I came out of the shower, I felt the seizure coming, pulled the cord, and that was all I could remember. I found myself hooked up to all sorts when I woke up with a number of people basically standing around my bed. They put me on intensive medication, all sorts to try and work with me. And whatever they used then seemed to have worked. And they weren't going to discharge me. I was told I'll have to stay in hospital for 10 days. We're only supposed to be in Israel for 14 days. It was we were coming towards the end of the time we had to leave. So anyway, a miracle happened. I was able to convince them to discharge me by the following day. And the doctor reluctantly discharged me, but he didn't give me the clearance to travel. So I went back again, managed to convince him. And he signed me off on the condition that the moment I get back to the UK, I'll go straight to the hospital, which I did. I went to the GP and I was referred immediately to the hospital. A couple of days, I still had medication that was given by the hospital, which I was taking. But I think about 3 or 4 days after I arrived, I had a seizure. I had a seizure in my sleep, and my husband woke up to hear me making some funny sounds. At least that's what he told me, and called 999. I came round when the ambulance crew came, so I was blue lighted to Royal Free Hospital. I got seen, and my husband was told that they already received a referral from my GP, and an appointment had been sent for me to see the neurologist so that I should continue to take the medication that was given by the hospital in Israel. So we went back home. My daughter came to take us back home. I was hungry. They made me something to eat. And whilst I was eating, I had another seizure. I can't remember how I got to the hospital. And that was basically the start of a 22-day stay at the hospital, at Royal Free Hospital. They did all sorts of tests again. Everything was negative, so nobody knew what was wrong with me. It was like almost every 2 minutes I was having a seizure. So they put me under induced coma. And that, I think, was for about 2 weeks. It was a tough time for my family. And that was where my faith and the faith of my family, especially my daughter, came in, because nobody knew what to do with me. I was not responding to treatment. They were trying all sorts of medication, even the one that I responded to in Israel, which I brought, I wasn't responding to. So, but for people who don't believe in Jesus, I do. And what happened to me was nothing short of a miracle. Because my daughter said to me after I got well that the Holy Spirit told her to play a particular song called Break the Chain. And she asked the nurse, because I was in the high dependency uniform, my stay there. And the nurse said, yeah, it was all right for her to play. So she came the following day and brought the tape and played it. When she came back the day after she started playing it, she found me sitting up. I was awake. So miracles do happen. My husband up till today would not talk to me about what he saw. And only my daughter would talk to me. My son, when I tried to get him to talk to me, I think it was 2 years ago when we went out for brunch. My son is 6'2" or 3. He started crying. So I had to stop. I didn't realize how much it hit them. So encephalitis changed my life. Basically, I developed a brain tumor the second time when I was in hospital at Royal Free. And I don't know whether I caused it, but it just developed. And it more than doubled in size. Within 12 months, I had to have brain surgery. So all the unwanted gifts I got from encephalitis, like double vision, vertigo, the seizures, focal seizures, my temper as well. I lost my filter. That one was a nice one because I could say whatever I like. I'm better now because I would say things without thinking. The swallowing, which I developed later on as well, was swallowing issues. That was scary. Not being able to swallow my saliva felt like I was choking. The headache, that's better, but the seizures was probably the most challenging of it, apart from the double vision, because it's taken about 6 years to strike a balance for them to be able to bring it down. Because at one point I was having more than 30 focal seizures an hour. So they kept on increasing what I was getting. So I'm on the highest level of medication I can be on now. But if I hadn't contracted encephalitis, I wouldn't have met the people I've met. I found out about Encephalitis International through Encephalitis Global, because I was trying to find out about encephalitis when I was discharged because I was confused. I couldn't work I was home for 6 months before I went back. And then obviously when I had the surgery, I couldn't work anymore. So I was just trying to find out why all of those things were happening because I really didn't know what to do. I felt alone because my family were trying to understand what was happening with me, but they couldn't understand the reason why I was always crying because I've always been quite independent. I couldn't drive anymore because of the seizures. I loved my job. I couldn't do much. I couldn't write properly. I want to say something. I'll get lost in my train of thoughts. And it still happens now, but not as bad as before. Remembering names and new things was difficult. So I have to start making notes. So I just felt helpless. So I started looking for information on encephalitis. That was how I found Encephalitis Global. So I wrote to Wendy, I can't remember her surname, who was the founder. And then she told me about Encephalitis International. So I contacted your charity and I got somebody got in touch with me quickly. The response was fantastic. It felt good to actually know that I had a resource to go back to, and also that it may be rare. There are people who have had it also in the UK that can talk to. The Encephalitis International made it possible for me to go back to work because I was afraid of going back to work because I knew I wasn't the person I was before I went away on holiday. So I got information that I could give to HR, to my staff, to my manager, to my family, so that, for example, when I'm about to have a seizure, so they'll be able to recognize the signs, especially my staff. And that when I say I'm feeling fatigued, they shouldn't confuse being fatigued with tiredness, because you'd be amazed at how many people think being tired is the same as being fatigued. They're two completely different things. It really upset me, made me cry, because I could not believe how difficult it was for people to actually understand that just because I look okay physically, apart from being puffed off like donut with the steroids, that this isn't the Wunmi of before. This is a new person with the same name, bearing a little bit of resemblance, if you can see underneath all the fat. So I was able to get a lot of help from the society. I really was able to get a lot of help. I didn't feel alone anymore. And then when I found out about the monthly meetings as well, that too was a lifesaver. That was really a lifesaver. I was able to recognize some of the things that were happening to me that I couldn't understand. I was able to put names to them because other people were going through the same thing. I was also able to use that information plus the information from Encephalitis International to have discussions with my consultant, because my consultant became my primary carer. My consultant is still my primary carer, not my GP. My GP is just kept in the loop of what's happening. So I was able to take the literature to talk to them. This is what's happening to me. What do you think? And then they will look into it. My case was actually used as a case study. So I suppose one could say the information from the Flight Society is part of what my consultants and neurology at Royal Free have been able to use as part of their research. So it's been an experience that I wouldn't wish on anyone. It's made me appreciate life more and people more as well, and also to be much more compassionate. I'd like to think of myself as being a caring person, but I think it's made me even more aware and even more compassionate towards people. So, but one thing I would say is encephalitis tried to fight with me twice, but I won. So all encephalitis survivors are warrior kings and queens because we beat it. It's difficult to beat, but we beat it. So that's my story.
Thank you so much, Wunmi. And just to kind of clarify, so it was viral encephalitis in the end. At what point was that diagnosed?
Well, they actually had to call it viral because they couldn't determine what type of encephalitis it was.
So Wunmi, yeah, just kind of moving towards leaving a gift in your will. Yeah, you said it was a no-brainer. So why did it feel natural for you to do that?
Right. Not much is known about encephalitis. Pre-COVID, I don't think anybody really cared about encephalitis because it didn't affect that many people. The only organization that I know of that was concerned about it is Encephalitis International. So without Encephalitis International, I think I would have lost my job, you know. I would have, because nobody knew what to do with me. Nobody understood what I was going through. Nobody knew the reason why I'll wake up fatigued. Nobody knew the reason why I'll have seizures, or why I'll have certain outbursts, or why I'll suddenly start crying. Nobody understood why things were so difficult for me, why I couldn't see properly. So work was tough. I'm blessed to have my family because my family was just completely behind me. But work was more challenging because my role was kind of political, and I was responsible for something that was simple but difficult at the same time because of the politics behind it. So all of a sudden, I couldn't do a lot of what I was doing before, not because I didn't want to do it. Having the literature from Encephalitis International made it possible for me to inform the organization about what encephalitis was about, the side effects of it, the support that I should be getting. And the government needed to invest in it too, but the government really didn't know about it and didn't think anything about it. So for me, thinking about the support that I've had from the society and knowing that Encephalitis International, I know I keep referring to society, Encephalitis International is the only organization that is carrying out research into it, which really is unbelievable. Because only after I had it that I realized that people are labeled as having mental health problems, the ones who survived it, by the way, not realizing that it's encephalitis that's causing what is happening with them. So there's a lot of research that needs to be done into it because it presents itself in different ways. With some people like me, it's like a stroke. With some people, it's just a headache and something else happens. With some people, it's like they have mental health issues. So it's like a chameleon, really. You don't know how it's going to present itself. Now, if more research is carried into encephalitis, it will save the government a lot of money, you know, because they'll be able to catch it quickly. People will be able to work longer as well. I mean, I enjoyed my job. Not being able to work again was like a bereavement. I had to have counseling because it was tough. You wake up in the morning and you just think, what am I doing? So all of that, it's really a win for the government And my reason behind it, apart from the research element, which benefits everybody, because I think really people who don't even have it, who don't know anything about it, need to actually invest in it, because you never know who it might impact. I've got 2 examples of 2 children in Nigeria. One, when it happened to him, I think he was about 11. And the other one was just about 5, 6. The 11-year-old was in boarding school. He had what they thought was a fever, but he didn't have malaria. It was encephalitis. It started presenting in a way that it was getting delirious, so they didn't understand what was going on. Because I told my sister-in-law about what had happened with me and sent her information. I got this info, like a picture thing from Encephalitis International, which I sent out to all my family members. So I sent that to her as well, and some of the literature. So she called me, I was at work, and she said, look, something has happened. And she told me about it. So I said, all right, I'll send you something on dealing with children, or children who's got encephalitis, or how to identify. So I downloaded some information, sent to her. She sent the information to Nigeria. And then they tested him for it. And thankfully, it was established that that was what he had. That was what he had. So they were able to treat him. And that information was what they used to diagnose and start the treatment. And he fully recovered, actually. He fully recovered within a very, very, very short time. So he was able to go back to school within, I think within 2 months, he was back at school.
Mm.
The other young lady, she had also tests. Everything was negative. Her parents were confused. They didn't know what to do. But I had a chat with her dad before about me being sick and having encephalitis. And I told him my story. So he called me and he said they are taking her back to hospital again. Like, they don't know what's wrong. They've taken her to a couple of hospitals. All the tests are negative, but she keeps having seizures. And I don't think she was responsive. So I sent the same set of information to them. So they treated her, decided her off on anti-seizure meds, and there's something else they gave her. Is it aclovir?
Aceclopvir,
Yeah,
the antiviral, yeah.
yeah. So they gave her that, and she recovered. So you can see how many thousand miles away. So that information that I got from your website has been used to save 2 lives. And I'm sure that information, those people too will keep, and it will benefit others as well. That is enough for me to actually invest in the lives of others in the future. You never know who might benefit. So that's the little, I guess that's the only little bit I could do. And I've been encouraging my friends and family. For my birthday, don't give me any birthday present. My birthday present would be a financial donation to Encephalitis International. And that's why. And I'll do it over again. And like I said, I will encourage everybody to invest in Encephalitis International. And the government needs to do the same as well. So, yeah.
That's wonderful, Wunmi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so talking into the kind of getting into the details, how did you find the process of writing a will?
Oh, I was overwhelmed. I was really overwhelmed because unfortunately, being overwhelmed is one of the things that I got from encephalitis. So the we used a specialist will writing service. So we had a lady who was assigned to work with us. And she helped go through everything that we needed to go through. She was actually quite, because I told her about my condition, so she knew about my condition. So she was quite helpful. It was pretty straightforward. It was a trust that I did to make sure that it goes to the charities that I really want to benefit from it. And it was the best decision, really. It was a good thing to do.
Brilliant. Thank you, Wunmi. We are coming towards the end of the podcast. I just wanted to ask, is there a message that you'd like to share with anyone who is watching who might be affected by encephalitis?
Yeah, maybe a couple. That encephalitis, that the fact that they're alive means they've beaten it. That makes them a warrior. So they can stand up with their heads held high. There'll be times when they will feel vulnerable because they're not able to do things that they were able to do before. They should remember that they're alive and there are other things that they can always do. Also, that there is support available. We're lucky to have Encephalitis International. They should take advantage of that. They should appreciate every single day that they have. Enjoy life. Recognize that their health and well-being is important. So take time out to enjoy their lives. Enjoy yourself, go on holiday, eat what you want, keep healthy. And being a survivor is actually special. It's special. Because not many so many, unfortunately, have lost their lives due to the same evil virus, and that they're blessed. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm going to take away that message that, yeah, if you're alive, you're a warrior. You know, that's
Definitely a warrior. Imagine fighting with Mike Tyson in his heydays and sucker punching him.
I don't want to imagine that with me.
Knocking him out. That is what survivors, that's what we've done.
Yeah.
Proper sucker punch. So yeah, we're
I
warriors.
love that. I hope Mike Tyson sees this.
Oh, as long as it doesn't come after me.
Wonderful, Wunmi. Thank you so much. So yeah, we have come to the end of this podcast, and we've tried to talk about legacies, your story, of course, and the process of writing a will. So I was just wondering, before we close, is there anything that we haven't discussed that you'd like to mention?
Just that I would like the Encephalitis Society to be more supported, not just by the survivors and the families, but by friends and colleagues too. By supporting Encephalitis International to make sure that proper research is continuous, because you cannot stop. The research has to continue. It would be a case of, we have this saying in Nigeria that if you want to walk on soft ground, you throw water ahead of you. So you make a way for others to follow, to make things easier for people coming behind you. If we do that, there'll be less lives lost. So we've got to invest in the research so others coming behind us can benefit from the research. So everybody wins. So basically, it's a case of looking after others. When you look after others, you're looking after yourself and your own. And that's what I would like to see. I would like more investment in the society. a lot more, because what you're doing, money can't really buy. The society, sorry, Encephalitis International is not like any other charity. It's not. It's specialist. It's different. And it's incredibly important. It's incredibly important. People need to know about how important it is. So we need to educate more and more people on it. Maybe an advert on London buses might be a good thing. Who knows? Or even on the underground.
I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really would love to see it because it's important. It's really important. There will be needless deaths and everybody benefits.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Wunmi. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And I have to say, there's been so many great metaphors that you've given, especially the one with fatigue. That's going to stick out to me with the bottle of water. That's yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for
Okay.
just being you and the way you've told your story. We really appreciate it.
Prav.
So yeah, we've come to the end of this podcast with Wunmi Odusina. I want to thank Wunmi for sharing your valuable time with us. Thank you so much, Wunmi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prav. Thanks for the opportunity.
And I would like to thank you, the audience, for watching. We hope you found this episode of the Encephalitis Podcast helpful. If you have been affected by any of the issues raised, please contact our support line. Encephalitis International is here to help in whatever way we can. For more information and our contact details, please visit our website www.encephalitis.info, and together we can achieve our aim of ending death and disability from encephalitis. You can also find all the information you need in the podcast description. As always, if you can support our work, we would be extremely grateful. Please visit www.encephalitis.info/donate. Thank you again, and see you next time on the Encephalitis Podcast.